Thanks for staying with us. I'm taking a story on Daily Sun. So borrowing a leaf from his boss, Mr. President, who during his inaugural speech said, subsidy gone. The new Minister for Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has totally reversed the 18-year admission benchmark for tertiary institutions to 16 years. He said that that decision the initial decision was the way the national policy education was designed. He said we will not be going forward with the 18-year admission benchmark. We will go with the 16 years, and we are going to meet with the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, that's JAM. There will also be exceptions for gifted children. So 18 years is not part of our policy again. Bang. He said it on his first inauguration, like, she copy your president.
My daughter is very happy. She'll be very happy with this.
Okay, I have the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCC, has said that based on all relevant regulations, including the one from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, and the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, discos should bear the cost of replacing consumers' prepaid meters and not the other way around.
And calmer, so that they can hear you.
Okay, discos should bear the cost of replacing consumers' prepaid meters and not the other way around. FCCPC says that it would take unfriendly actions against discos or other stakeholders along the electricity management value chain that announce policies or decisions that could defraud consumers. We had Mr. Tunji Bello, who is the vice chairperson of FCCPC. So he gave this warning in Abuja, and he made specific reference to a recent decision by Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company to phase out the Unistar prepaid meter model, which will start 14th of 2024. And, you know, he says that, see, this decision poses another challenge for consumers. First of all, you have announced this, but you haven't also given, like, what next steps are. You haven't explained how this transition will be carried out, who will be paying for it. But he's saying, even no matter what, I hope you realize you have to pay for this. And then during the transition, I hope you're now not going to be billing people arbitrarily because they don't have a meter and they're waiting for it. So he's saying, see, whatever you do, remember that we have a, you know, they have the FCCPC Act, and it says that everything
can sanction them.
That whatever it is that is done, policies or whatever it is that's put out, has to be fair also to the consumers, and they'll be watching.
Okay, so hopefully Otumba, Sunday or Duton has heard that, because we'll bring you back to this show. Come and tell us if you want to start fighting FCCPC. You have a story in Sun? Or
I had this.
Okay. Vanguard. Hashtag end bad governance. Why we released minor says federal government. Protesters storm National Assembly over hardship. Why telecoms infrastructure must be protected, says NCC and NGI. Tinubu decorates acting Chief of Army Staff Oluyede with new rank. Undo Guba. Ajayi Flo Ayedatiwa in debate. Again, National Grid collapsed 4 times in 24 days. And why forfeited illicit arms pose security threat, says NSA. Okay.
So I had a story earlier. The government in Equatorial Guinea has commenced a probe into hundreds of leaked pornographic videos allegedly involving high-ranking civil servants. Baltasar Egonga, we had that, took that story yesterday, said he was caught having sex with various women, including wives of prominent officials in his office. So the government has further ordered the installation of surveillance cameras in courts and ministries to combat indecent, illicit acts. He also announced that he was suspending officials involved in the scandal. And according to a statement issued by the Equatorial Guinea Press Information Office, published on the government's website on Tuesday, Vice President Teodoro Mange on Tuesday said any official found engaging in sex acts at work would be sanctioned, as this was a flagrant violation of the code of conduct. So the government said the recent decision was taken because of the circulated videos and the fact that it denigrated the image of the country.
Does that even make any sense? No. CCTVs.
No, but it sort of helps. I'm wondering why they did not have CCTVs. It is enough what we do as a government. We react now.
Yeah, so I have the story of the protesters who stormed the National Assembly over hardship. They said a large crowd of activists flooded Abuja's 3-arm zone yesterday, demanding sweeping reforms in the oil sector. They said it was organized by the APC Solidarity and Development Forum, comprising youth and civil society organizations. The protesters expressed frustration over high fuel prices, President fuel scarcity, and intensifying economic hardship affecting Nigerians. They also argued that despite repeated assurances from authorities, shortages and high prices continue to persist, impacting citizens and eroding public trust in the government's disposition. And they're now saying that that hope agenda, that new renewed hope agenda, also underscores the need for a leadership change focused on accountability. So they are still saying that people are suffering and that you should do something about it, most especially in the oil
Something. Give me the story. Vanguard?
Vanguard, yes. So the federal government has inaugurated a 10-member interministerial committee led by the Secretary to the Government, Senator George Akume. And this is to enforce the Supreme Court's recent ruling on local government autonomy. So the committee would oversee the financial independence of the councils and ensure that they operate without state interference. Members of the committee are Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and a few more others. So really their job is to make sure that the local governments are, fully autonomous and that they also function effectively without state government interference. Like they had to create a whole committee to make sure that the bully state government does not get involved.
Okay, let's final paper, the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see if there's a story we've not taken. FG moves to curtail negative net assets of 39 trillion. Fear of post-election unrest in the United States as tensions rise. LASMA officer set ablaze in Lagos. Webanji appoints Justice Ogumoye as acting chief judge. I'm satisfied with my achievements in ATS's Obaseki. And Tinubu promotes acting chief of army staff Oluyede to lieutenant general.
Let me say this. So how the tables have turned. I can't believe that this is a headline about America, but they're saying that there's fear of post-election unrest in the United States.
Yes.
Not in
the US of A.
Not in any African country. The United States. Okay. So they say there are growing fears about potential unrest in the days following the declaration of the results of the election. Rising tensions, accusation of electoral fraud, increasing polarization leading on to the election day. So the sort of stories that we're used to here is happening over there. So they are worried that this may cause tension when the results are finally, reported. But what I will advise you people, I feel that we should send some delegates from Nigeria to the United States to advise you on how we handle ourselves in situations like this. You need to remember that the people come first, and that politicians must carry themselves with decorum. Thank you very much.
All right, let me move on to the story about the governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki. He has said he's leaving office as a governor that is very satisfied having undertaken bold reforms and projects that have transformed critical areas of the state, including education, healthcare, economy, infrastructure, and job creation, amongst many others. These, he said, while he has improved the livelihoods of the people and placed the state on the path of growth and economic prosperity. The governor said this on Tuesday when he led Enugu State Department, Dr. Peter Mba, and the former governor of Sokoto State, Senator Alhaji Aminu Tambuwal. They were all there, and where he just expressed his gratitude for their support and saying that he's hoping that he has restored the hope of the people in the state to rebuild Edo's economy and empower and equip people to be better, to build the state for a better future. So I'm really hoping that as a transition to a new party, new governance, that things are sustained as he had put them in place. Have a story?
No.
Okay, I think somebody ticked The Guardian. Let me see. I have 1 more minute. The Guardian, public engagements debates fading as vote buying rules holds. Which vote buying? Which country is this? Okay. FBI warns of disinformation as Trump gives condition to concede poll. CJN laments rising vulnerability of Nigerian firms to cyber attacks. Who took that story? Somebody took that story. Okay, that's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, we have a special feature. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.